Well, let's move into our next new segment that we want to bring up, and that
Yeah.
is, I think Chris, when he was on earlier, kind of hit it. You do your gig work, then what? So I think that's kind of like the segment that we're going to go into is, the then what that we want to talk about. You do your gig work, you learn the practices, you go out there, you make your money, and try putting in new practices, new strategies, try to make some more money, different things like that. But what about after the fact? What about when you're not gigging or, when you're working towards something?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about and going into during this next segment that we're going to be talking about, every show for the foreseeable future when it comes to it, just to give you guys a little bit more when it comes to it, besides just gig work or, Uber, Lyft, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So,
So, we're going to start this by giving you the numbers as usual. Um, Look, gig work is not forever. Some of us do it 10 hours a week. Some of us do it 100 hours a week between multiple apps. The point is, flexibility and freedom does not come without financial freedom. So the only way you can achieve financial freedom is what are you doing with the gig money that's coming in every Tuesday hitting your account, or if you do cash outs. Okay. So the gig economy boom is over, according to the insider. And as workers go back to traditional jobs, Bank of America says, you know what? I agree. The boom is over. The boom that we experienced during the pandemic, especially for deliveries, last mile delivery, grocery, food, whatever items there are. Yeah. Rideshare is still there, but there's many more drivers on the road than there were before because
yeah, it's not like when
nobody.
everything reopened and there was the
Yeah,
huge rideshare boom at that point.
exactly, exactly. And so, in fact, I interviewed one of our viewers, and it's going to be on the channel under Behind the Wheel series. He quit his gig work. He did gig work for 4 years. He quit, went back to a nice W-2. So I know a lot of the people who do gig work do it for freedom and flexibility. But then what I want to hit on, and I need your help with this, whoever's watching this now or later, however many thousand there are, I need some interaction. I need some ideas from you guys. What should we talk about? Right? I mean, we know what we're going to bring up, but I want to make this totally interactive. Why are you doing gig work? What is your plan B? Do you have a plan B? When you go home, do you do a budget, weekly, daily, you know, goals that you set for yourself? How much of this are you saving for true financial freedom, which is you got to have money in the bank? So people may not be interested in gig opportunities they were a year ago. Granted, per economist Anna Zhu, B of A, the reversal is partly because of weaker consumer demand for some services. Agreed. DoorDashers are crying. There are a million gig tubers out there saying, "Oh, I'm not making any money," blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, it's supply and demand, my man. There are many of you out there, and you guys thought when the pandemic ended, everything was going to continue. It's not going to continue. But this could also be due to attractive wage growth in traditional jobs per report and Zhu. By the way, solidarity to our UPS brothers who are drivers. A top UPS driver with seniority is getting up to $49 an hour now. And, a lot of people tell me, go get a real job. No, driving is a fucking real job, sir, whoever you people are out there. And, with union solidarity, I know a lot of you are against unions and all that stuff, but without union negotiations, none of this would have happened. And they got themselves a nice raise going forward all the way to 2027. Okay. And they looked out for the part-time brothers of theirs and they got a raise. So you being stuck in this flexibility and freedom, I'm not buying it. Okay, that doesn't pay the bills. At the end of the month, go tell your landlord, this month I'm going to pay you with my flexibility and freedom. Is that okay for you? I'm like, no, that's not going to work. So my thing is, I want ideas from you guys, what you guys want to talk about yourselves, right? And we'll do the first couple on us. We'll talk about retirement. We'll talk about investing. Again, none of this investment advice, but I'm reasonably knowledgeable about these things. So we're going to start there. But please send me your email, send me your requests. What do you want to talk about? Okay. And we're going to make this part really interactive. We're going to bring you guys on the show starting, next week and talk about all these things. So gig work may be dead. It could be dead. Okay. And this is another headline that caught my eye. A decline in self-employed gig economy could be pulling more workers into payroll jobs. There is nothing shameful about payroll jobs, period. Okay. And maybe if enough people go back to regular payroll jobs, W-2s, then oversaturation may be over, but we'll see. While also increasing the unemployment rate. Okay. And Friday's jobs report, jobs reports coming out. I mean, look, unemployment is in the whole historically all-time low, 3.6 or 3.9%, which is crazy, right? There are plenty of jobs out there. Why do you continue doing gig work, right? We want to talk about all these issues. Why are you stuck in this rut? If you're not making money other than complaining, why do you continue doing this? Don't do it. I'm telling you, we're a RideShare channel. We're telling you guys not to do it, okay? And if you're making money, if you know your numbers, if you're saving for your future, retirement, all these things, continue. But if you're doing it willy-nilly just to pay a couple of bills and then 6 months later you have nothing to show for it with a broken car and a broken back, don't do it. Go get a W-2. And I think that's the right advice that we can give you guys.
Yep.
So email me,
Well,
Sergio at the RideShare Guy.
one other thing besides going over those two articles saying that the gig boom is done and it's pushing more drivers into payroll jobs again for W-2. There is a silver lining there, and that means the oversaturation could be easing up a little bit, which means supply and demand could be equaling out a little bit better. So for drivers who are out there making money or trying to make money and trying to over and over, and there's too many drivers on the road or oversaturation, or app A, B, C, and D are slow. This could be a silver lining for you where less drivers are going to be on the road because maybe they're going back to jobs. So it's definitely going to be this good balance that'll hopefully come very soon, especially as we start going into the fall time in a couple of months and things pick up. I think that's going to be a good silver lining for some drivers out there.
Yeah. And, we want to talk about this. We really do. We want to make a special segment, 10, 15 minutes every week, bring some of you on. What are your personal plan Bs? You teach us, we teach you. I bet you most of you don't even know that you can, save money towards your retirement with a lot of different retirement plans, right? 401ks, IRAs, SEP IRAs, things like that. We're all going to talk about this. And, again, not financial advice, but you guys should do it because you are capable of doing it. Just because you're an independent contractor, 1099 contract worker, doesn't mean, you cannot do it, Financial literacy is something we're going to try to attempt to talk about at least once a week. And so please bring us your ideas, what you guys want to talk about. And hey, I think it'll be a good segment.
Yeah, especially if you know your costs, which you should already. We've talked about that on figuring out your costs when it comes to what it takes for you to make money on a profitable ride, what it is, per mile. So you can take a look at the ride offer coming in and see if it is going to be worth it for you or not to take. And then, just being able to use that money for creating a plan B or what else you could potentially do. So it's definitely going to be hopefully educational, or at least it helps you be able to look at things in a little bit different of a light, to try to, help with your financial situation. So instead of trying to have to worry about maybe a bill that needs to be paid, maybe the due date's coming up and you're not sure how much you're going to be able to put away for that. Hopefully that will, kind of soften those types of things so you can start building some sort of nest egg or anything like that. Another reason why our sponsor, Mimo, is, something that can be good because it has the financial planning help in there. So you can actually take a look at things and be a little bit more, open about what you're currently making and your expenses, and you can see it broken down a little bit better, and have an honest conversation. It's not going to be a comfortable conversation for a lot of people, but it's something that all people should be having a conversation with when it comes to themselves. We don't want to know your financial picture. We're not looking at that. We just want to help give you that information so you can have that conversation with yourself. And like I said, for some people, it's going to be a very hard conversation. But at the end of it, it's a good conversation to have with yourself, because at the other side, when you see what's going on, you can make those decisions that's going to help you be in a financial position that's going to be better than what it is today. And then,
don't ask me for stock tips, by the way. So, tips are only at the horse races. They're not here. You know, I get that a lot. Oh, can you give me a tip? I'm like, no, we're not at the horse races, so I'm not going to do that because we're not allowed to do it. I would love to, but we can't. Even on a private email, I can't. But I really think something that we really need to talk about is retirement, because a lot of these gig workers, Chris, they're in their 50s, 60s. You know, the older crowd, the young crowd is doing it just to pay bills, whatever, survive, hustling. The older crowd is doing it, you know, and maybe they're, even if you're on, you know, Medicare, if you're retired, if you're collecting Social Security, they're still doing it, just not to be bored at the house, but also they could do many different things, you know, add to their, you know, financial freedom and their future. So life is not over because you're 65, and a lot of people are doing it because you know, they're bored to do it. They're about to get on Social Security, and look, you need to save for your retirement. U.S. Social Security system is not going to be there. If you're 30 years old now, in 30 years, it ain't going to be there. It's going broke, just like everything else. Okay, the reality check. So to me, I think it's going to be a great segment, interactive. Please send me your ideas, what you guys want to talk about. I'll research it, and we'll come up and talk about it.
Well, not only that, I want to go back to what you said. Well, the 20, 25-year-old may be doing this and just trying to pay bills. The problem is that's all they're doing. They're just trying to pay bills, and they're not putting anything else away. You know, even 50, 60 years old, you know, I mean, we don't know a person's financial picture, outlook, or anything like that, what they're doing. But if you're just doing this to pay your bills and you're not really making anything extra, you know, that's where the conversation is going to be much harder for yourself to do, because, you know, you want to be able to have more so you can put away a little bit more. And then again, if you're 20, 25, you shouldn't be just paying bills and that's it. You got to put away more, so then you have that retirement when it comes to that time. Otherwise, you're going to be working from the time that you're 20, 25 right now until you're dying. And that's not something that anybody wants. Everybody wants some sort of retirement, some sort of nest egg. And, you know, there's definitely ways to do it, and doing it right, doing it differently. There's a lot of different ways. So that's going to be up to you, your financial plan, your financial picture, your financial goal, you know, what you're doing now, what you're doing in the future, what you've been doing. There's a lot of different things there.
I agree. So yeah, look out for that segment halfway through the show, probably every week. And I think it's important. I think we need to be realistic and talk about it and work towards it.
All right. Yep. All right. Thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.